Have you ever made a list of your goals and felt so excited about them for like 5 minutes and then, whoops, overwhelm hit? Work on your health, fix your schedule, spend time with the family, learn something new, organize your finances. Everything sounds important. And that's exactly why many people get stuck. It's not lack of motivation, it's because they're trying to change too many things at the same time. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, and I help midlife women stop feeling scattered and overwhelmed and create a clear plan for their life and business using a 12-week planning method that actually works. One of the biggest mistakes people make when planning their life or their goals is trying to improve everything at once. And that's very understanding because when we start thinking about our life, there are a lot of areas we want to improve. The thing is, the human brain doesn't really handle too many priorities well. We were not meant to multitask. Let me just say that. When everything feels important, nothing actually receives attention, or at least the attention it needs to move, to evolve, to make a difference, to change. Energy becomes scattered, progress slows down, and then we think it's an us problem. It's not. But very often the problem is simply we have too many priorities. And there's also something emotional happening at this time because when our attention is divided in all the directions, we really never feel complete. Even on a productive day, we still feel behind because there are 10 other things we didn't get to. And that creates an instant sense of pressure, even when you're doing your best. This is why, inside the Life Mastery 12-week method, there is a very simple principle. Each 12-week season, focus on only three main priorities. Not 10, not 12, not 15, and not 5. Three. And these are the areas that we want to make real progress in during those 12 weeks. Three priorities allow you to stay focused while still moving your life forward in a meaningful way. And what I've seen again and again is that people don't actually need more discipline, they just need to get rid of the overwhelm and have less decisions to make for themselves. Because every additional priority creates, you guessed it, more choices. And more choices, more decisions. And that creates mental fatigue. It's a thing. So, this rule is not about restriction, it's about protecting your energy. For example, someone might choose priority number one, improve their health, priority number two, grow their business, priority number three, organize their finances. Someone else might choose rebuild their energy, create a new career direction, and priority number three, simplify their home or their schedule. The exact priorities will be different for everyone, but what matters are there are only a few of them, only three of them, because focus creates momentum, and that's really what we're looking for. And something important to remember here, these are not small things. These are meaningful areas of your life, which is exactly why you need the space. If you try to work on everything at once, nothing is getting the priority it deserves. And here's a simple exercise that you can try. Take the focus area that you chose, in the previous step of this series and ask yourself, if I want this area to move forward in the next 12 weeks, what three things would make the biggest difference? And this is important. If I want this specific thing to change in my life in the next 12 weeks, what are three things that would make the biggest difference? Not 20 tasks, not a long to do list, just three priorities that truly matter. Those priorities become your structure for your next 12-week season. And if this feels difficult, that's actually a good thing because you're being forced to choose. And yes, my friend, clarity always comes after a decision, not from adding more options to your list. When we limit the number of priorities, something interesting happens. The brain relaxes, clarity appears, and it becomes a lot easier to decide where your energy is being spent that week. And instead of feeling scattered, you begin to feel intentional. And that shift from scattered to intentional is exactly where momentum starts. Not because you're doing more, but because you're finally focusing on what matters, on what needs the focus so that it will move wherever you want it to move. One of the reasons that many people feel overwhelmed is not because their life is very complicated. It really is because their attention is being divided in a lot of directions, many different directions at the same time. So when we focus on just a few meaningful priorities, progress becomes visible again. And when progress becomes visible, confidence starts to come back. And that's often the missing piece. This video is part of the Life Mastery 12-week reset series where we explore how to bring clarity and momentum back into our lives by focusing on the next 12 weeks. In the next video, we're going to look at something very practical, how to turn these priorities into a simple 12-week plan that you can actually follow week by week. And I want to tell you that I do a live workshop every week. It's free on the 12-week reset. So if you are interested in joining us for that, I will leave all the links in the description box. Before I go, I want to ask you something. What are the 3 priorities you would choose for your next 12-week season? Leave me a comment if you feel called to do so. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.